Welcome to Quick Bytes, the lunchtime live stream with your tech integration specialist, Scott Conway. Welcome to today's session. We are going to discuss Google Drive basics, from the creation of files and folders to the editing tools within inside a Google Doc, as well as the sharing settings or configuration, which is probably going to consume most of our time, as it is probably the most difficult of what we're going to show you today. So let's just dive right into this. We are going to open up a Drive folder that I have for the demo purposes today. I am in Google Drive, so that's drive.google.com. And you can be signed into the Google Drive platform with your organizational account. Before I go on, sorry, one quick note. Those of you that were trying to ask a question throughout this session, please take note of the slide question and answer session up here. There's a link that you can go to. This is also linked on the staff portal if you want the quick link, if you don't want to manually type it in. This is only for those that are watching live. Please ask your question as early as you can so that I can see it before we end this session out, and I'll try to answer the questions before we end. Otherwise, it will close out after our session. All right, back to Google Drive. So I'm in a Drive folder, and I want to start just by showing you some of the creation tools, how to create a folder, how to create a document. And as there is with a lot of things in the Google Drive world, or the Google Apps world for that matter, there's more than one way to do something. So in the upper left-hand corner, you see the little plus symbol in New. If you click on that, you can see the little drop-down menu says New Folder. I can also do a file upload. That will allow me to upload a single document from local storage on the device that I'm on. Or I can upload a whole folder. When I upload the whole folder, I will bring in all of the contents of the folder, as well as any nested folders. So it's a really quick way to take a large amount of data and upload it and store it in Google Drive from the device I'm currently on. As we move further down, you can see that I can create a new Google Doc. I can create a new Google Sheet, a new Google Slide. And I also, if I click on more, have a few more options, actually quite a few more options. Google Forms, Google Drawings, Maps, Sites. If you have any of those already created, you might see the maps in here, Google Sites. And then some of the ones below that are specific to my account because I have other software connections. For right now, we're going to stick with a folder. And you can see I get a little dialog box that pops up, so new folder. I will just call it Demo 2 and click Create. And now you see I have a folder within the larger folder, Drive Demo. This is called Demo 2. I can click to open this. And I can also, I said it before, there's more than one way to do things. I can also right-click anywhere out here in this dialog window, and I'll get the same options. New folder, upload file, upload folder. I get all of my doc creations, and then more. This time I'm going to go ahead and click on Google Doc, and it will open in a new window an untitled document. And one of the first things I wanted to do is rename this document. And for right now, I'll just call it Demo Document. Hit Save. And now I have a full word processing editor at my fingertips, online, anywhere in the world. I can sit down, log into my Google account, and have this document available for me. And as you're going to see a little bit later, if I want to collaborate with someone else, I can go ahead and share this document. You see that in the upper right-hand corner under Share. That will give me the ability to collaborate with someone else in real time. You two of you can be working on this document at the exact same time and see what each other is doing. And it can certainly be more than just one person. But up here in the File menu, you see you have your File, Edit, View, Insert. You can insert images, tables, drawings, charts, horizontal lines, special characters, equations, table of contents if you want. You have quite a few formatting options and some other various tools, including voice typing. If you have a microphone attached, you can also do voice typing with Google Docs. So there's a lot of features that are packed into Google Docs online on the web. You have your quick toolbar down below here that gives you access to a lot of the functions that would be available to you in something like Microsoft Word, a full-fledged desktop software program that allows you to do word processing. It's all kind of built in here to Google Docs. Now, as I close this document out and come back out into the folder, you'll see that that document is now there and it's available to me. You got a little bit of information here. The owner is me, when it was last modified, and if it has a file size, it'll show there. Another thing that you can do is you can pull files in. As I said, you can upload files. You can also upload documents. When you do that, you do have the option to convert those files on the upload if they are of a Google document relative. And what I mean by that is if it's something that is similar to Google Docs, Sheets, or Slides, Google Drive will have the ability to convert it. So if you have a Microsoft Word file or an Excel spreadsheet or a PowerPoint, those files on upload can convert to the Google Doc or Drive format. And in order to enable that feature, we would come up to the gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, go down to Settings, and then you can see this little box right here, Convert Uploaded Files to the Google Doc Editor format. And like I said, that's going to take some very plain text documents, Word files, Excel files, PowerPoint files, and it will allow them to be converted to the Google Doc format. And then you can easily edit it and revise it. Otherwise, if that's turned off, you're going to upload that file. It will still upload for you, but it will be in its original native format. And then what you have to do is right-click Open With. And then you would say Google Doc or Google Sheet or Google Slides, and then it would convert it for you. In the end, you'd have the original native format, plus you would have your Google Doc Editor format as well. You'd have two versions. So choosing to enable the convert on upload, this little checkbox here, just streamlines that process and makes it a little bit more efficient for you. All right, now I'd like to talk about the share settings, and I'm going to go back into this document and talk a little bit about this, and I want to kind of end today's session on this because this is quite possibly where it's most confusing. In the upper right-hand corner, I clicked on Share, and we get to the quick little Share with Others screen. This is good. It's quick. However, I still prefer the old advanced full screen, but I will show you right now, if I were to share with my colleague, Tom Lewak, I would start by typing his email address here, and I would find him, click on it. And then I've got a couple different options. Right now, it is set so that he could edit this file directly. I have two other options. I can give him comment-only access where he can add comments out to the side in the document. He can highlight portions of text and add comments. Or let's say I want to be very restrictive and I only want him to be able to view the document. I want to share it with him, but I only want him to see it. I can give him view access. And you can see that the icon changes with whatever access I give him. Now, let's say I want to give him edit access. I might also give him a little bit of a note here and say, hey, Tom, I've shared this doc with you. And that just is going to send him an email that says, someone has shared this doc with you, and it'll say that it's me, and it'll have this little message embedded in it. And you can see there's a little notify people box right here, and I can check that button and send it to him. And that immediately then gives him edit access. And when I come back out to the folder, and you see what happens here to the right of the folder, you can see the little two-person icon. That's indicating that this is now a shared document. I want to come back into shared settings and show you the full advanced version because there's some discussion here. One, you have the link at the top. If you want to share this document outright with someone else, you might need to send them that full link. Now, when I share it specifically with people down below, it's going to send via email automatically. But let's say I want to share this with someone else. I might want to send them the link. Tom's writing in the background if you can see him. So that's a good demonstration. I'll come back here. It's a good demonstration of the collaboration tool. You can see Tom is signed in the upper right-hand corner, and he is typing live real time on this. I want to come back into the shared settings, advanced, and talk a little bit about where this who has access feature, specific people can access. Right now, the document is only shared between me, the owner, and Tom Lewak, who is an editor. I can change that by clicking on change, and now you could see the link sharing. And this little dialog box here goes from least restrictive at the top to most restrictive at the bottom. So let's start at the top. Least restrictive, on public on the web. That means this document could be potentially found by someone else anywhere in the world and accessed. Now, typically, we're going to leave that. If we do that on purpose, it would be with view-only settings. And that's going to be if we're going to share it with someone outside of our domain, maybe a parent or a community member, someone who doesn't have a Google Drive or a Google Apps account and or a Cheshire Public Schools domain account. We might need to do it that way. A little bit more restrictive is on anyone with a link, meaning they can't just search for it and find it. They actually have to physically have the link. So it would have to come to them some way, either via an email or posted on a website. But that's still anyone outside the domain. Moving further down, now we're to anyone at Cheshire Public Schools, meaning they have to have a domain account in order to be able to access it. Now, this first level of on Cheshire Public Schools means they could potentially find it, and if they have a Cheshire Public Schools account, access it. And that could be view, edit, or comment, depending on how we set it. Moving down a little bit more restrictive is on anyone at Cheshire Public Schools with the link, meaning they would have to have the link either, again, by email or posted on a website. And then the second condition is they have to have a Cheshire Public Schools domain account. Again, how they access it, view only, comment only, or edit would be the next step. So let's change this. I'm going to say on anyone with a link. Now you see below I have access. So we're saying who can access the link and the document. Now we want to say how can they access it? And it's reminding me that no sign-in is required. And here are my options. Edit, comment, or view. Now, most of the time, we're going to say when you give outside world access to a document from inside an organization like a school district, you're going to say can view, because we really just want the community member or the parent to be able to view this document, not necessarily be able to edit it. So when you're in here on the link sharing screen, most often, 95% of the time, you're going to leave it can view. You may want to switch to can comment, but I very rarely would see anyone using the can edit, because now you're giving the entire world possibly the ability to edit this document. So can view is probably safest. And then we come back to the regular share settings screen. And if you do want people to collaborate, I would invite them specifically by name or email address. And like I did with Tom Lewak. Below that, you can see there are some additional settings here for preventing editors from changing access and adding new people. Let's say I trust Tom, but I don't really want him to give access to someone else or add new people. I really want this just to be between Tom and I. I would check that box. He is an editor, so right now he would not be able to give access to someone else, to another colleague per se. If I want, I could also go one step further and disable options to download, print, and copy, and that's for commenters and viewers. So if I share this out with other people and I don't want them to download, print, or copy my document, I'd have to leave them as can view or can comment. But if I check this, please know that anyone that is an editor, like Tom Lewak right now, he has the ability to download, print, and copy. This setting is just for commenters and viewers. So this is a good feature if you're going to share with students. You want them to be able to open it, view it, but you don't want them to do anything with it. Some additional settings down here at the bottom under share settings that were provided to educators for our use in our circumstances. So that is a quick overview of Google Drive, how to create documents, create folders. You can certainly upload pre-existing documents and folders worth of stuff. You have the ability to set up and collaborate with someone else in real time on these documents that you're sharing. And hopefully you have a better understanding of some of the share settings and what they mean. Really take your time to understand when you put this document out there for others to see, who's going to see it and how are they going to see it. So who are you sharing it with and how are you sharing with them? And just be aware that these settings are in here under full or under advanced in the share settings window. I'm going to take a quick second to look at some of my questions. I have one. Someone shares a Google Doc via email. I open it. How do I save it as a non-Google Doc on my desktop? All right, so this is a good question. So let's say you've got someone outside the Google Drive world and they don't have Google Drive. They still function in Microsoft Word. Well, one nice feature in here under File, Download, is that you can offload or download this document right now, take it from a Google Doc, and you can convert it into a Microsoft Word file. If there's someone that uses OpenOffice as a software platform, you can give them the open document format. If you want to give them rich text format, you can do that. That's including the bold, italicized, underline. You could also save this as a PDF. Take your document, download it as a PDF, and then it's a locked document. You could send that to parents, other community members. They're never going to be able to edit that document. Plain text is literally just text. You also have two other options here in the Google Drive world, and that is a web page as an HTML or an EPUB for a digital e-reader. You could even turn this into an EPUB document. But the person that's asking this question really is looking for this first one, Microsoft Word. You would choose that, and it's going to ask you, where do you want to save this? And it would save it as a .doc. You might want to just put in the .doc and then click save, and it will download it as a Word file. And then you could pull that in from your email software, add as an attachment, and send it out that way. All right, that looks like that's all the time we have for today, and the only question that I had for right now. I appreciate you joining us if you're on live. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, thank you, and we look forward to the next session.